quarterbacks that you've taken this year are the answer or the future of your franchise, then now you can understand what you have to do this offseason to get yourself in position to take a quarterback in this upcoming draft class. But on the other side, if Shedeur goes out and he finishes strong and establishes himself as the future starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, now you can take those 2 draft picks and be able to either build in front of him in terms of the offensive line or give him other weapons to add to this offense, because we know the defense is played really well. It's a top-tier defense, and they're a very well-coached group, obviously led by Myles Garrett and his unbelievable performance and what he's been able to do. Now the offense has to catch up. So this is an opportunity for Shedeur to establish himself as the starting quarterback, but more importantly for the Cleveland Browns organization to evaluate him and decide their future.
Just getting back to his start last week against the Raiders, and again, he came on in relief in his regular season debut for Dillon Gabriel, who suffered a concussion. But what did you see on Sunday? What did you like? What did you give a sense of what that offense looked like with Shedeur under center?
I think the first thing that jumped out to me, that stood out to me, was the confidence in which his teammates had in him and the energy that he brought. You noticed that from the moment he came in relief of Dillon Gabriel in the week prior that you were just talking about. You felt the stadium lifted. There was the energy in the building. Guys that were usually sat on the bench when they weren't on the field, they're now up off on the sideline wanting to see what he was going to do. And the thing that stood out the most to me was the big throw that he had downfield to Isaiah Bond and Myles Garrett's reaction to it. That means something. That lets you know that there are guys in that locker room that are rooting for him, guys that want to play for him and know that or feel that he gives them the best option to win football games. But one of the things about Shedeur in particular in his performance, you didn't see him retreating in the pocket as much as he did the week prior and what he had done in Colorado some. So you saw him when he had to flee and he was uncomfortable in the pocket, he rolled either left or right. And you saw on those opportunities where he extended the play, he pushed the ball downfield, which was something we hadn't seen out of Dillon Gabriel.
I mentioned Emory Hunt, who was on standby. We've got the czar of the playbook, football game plan, joining us here on HQ. What do we think about Shedeur getting another crack at
smiles.
this, Emory?
I thought it was a great thing for them to announce this right now so you can go into the week preparing for it. And you got to like the matchup, to be completely honest. When you think about the last time these 2 teams played each other in Cleveland, it was 2023, and the Browns with P.J. Walker beat San Francisco 19-17. And I feel like what I saw with Shedeur is the fact that he's shown that he's able to improve on the previous performance. So like Rand talked about perfectly, we didn't see him backing up and taking those unnecessary sacks. That was a check. And this time around, he got outside the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, and was directing traffic. He connected with Isaiah Bond when the previous week he sort of overthrew him in the back of the end zone and went out of bounds. And we also saw him take what the defense gives him. Although I like the decision he made against Baltimore where he went to Gage Larberdan, a guy that he had worked with all throughout the spring and summer, and also into the preseason. He gave him a chance to go make a play. This time he hit the check down, and when those type of plays presented itself in a more clearer vision, depending on the down and distance, he took the shot. So I thought he played well within himself. I'm excited to see what they can do building on top of that moving forward.
Yeah, and the one thing that I don't think, and you said that right, Emory, and just in terms of taking what the defense gives you. And here's the part. This Raiders team hadn't performed well this year, right? So we know, but the thing I saw the most where people discounted Shedeur's performance is because of what they were saying about this Raiders team. But the fact that they left out how different Patrick Graham's scheme is with this defense. Yeah, they may not have the Jimmies and Joes, but the X's and O's of this scheme is to create confusion, create havoc. And Patrick Graham's been able to do that to guys who have been starting in this league for a very long time. And so you have to give the young man credit. The numbers don't look great in terms of being 11 of 20, a shade over 200 yards passing. But the big thing was that he understood what Patrick Graham was trying to do. And even the play where he threw the interception, he was decisive and quick. It was the right read, but even the guy that dropped out, he made a nice play because he was buzzing to the flat, but fell back once he saw where the ball was going and made a really nice play on the football. But like Emory said, the big thing for Shedeur is to go into another week, understanding you're the starter, and being able to prepare that way and then improving on the game and the mistakes that you made the week prior.
Emery, I want to go back to you. I don't know if you heard what Rand had said in terms of how different this offense certainly looked on Sunday compared to ones that were quarterbacked by Dillon Gabriel. And again, he did something that, hadn't been done since 1995 when Eric Zier did it for the Browns, which was win his first career start. But to your point, you hinted at what he was doing right, but just offensively, the Browns were going down the field, something they weren't doing with the lefty rookie.
Here's what people need to understand about game breakers on offense. It changes things. So let's say, for instance, work outside in. When you have a Randy Moss, right? Now that changes how you have to tilt coverage toward him, which opens up the door for everyone else to have success. When you have a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Barry Sanders or some game breaker in the backfield, it changes how you play point of attack, front seven defense, because you are worried about the guy, exploding out the side door and getting down the sideline and beating you with a home run carry. When you have a quarterback that can push the ball downfield, it lifts the umbrella up on the defense a little bit more so to where now you can work underneath. You can work efficiency within the passing game. And when they get comfortable and saying, okay, well, he's just checking it down or he's going intermediate, now you burn them all over the top. And when you do that, now they have to get back to playing safe, which then subsequently allows you to run the football. So those threats at any level of offense changes how you defend them. And I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders is out there just going to bomb it out consistently every time. But if it's in his bag, you have to account for it. Just like when we talk about the Jahmyr Gibbs, he may not break every run, but because that is in his bag, your gaps have to be sound. You have to be disciplined. You have to be aligned in the proper angles. All of those things changes how you instinctively play defense. So therefore, that's why we saw the offense have the success we saw it, despite the numbers not being grandiose. The efficiency in the operation was efficient enough to where it looked different, and that's what you saw out there on the field.
Does set up nicely for Shedeur Sanders to get the Raiders defense, and then the Niners defense, which we've talked about, can be attacked. We'll all be watching it tonight. Shedeur, Rand, me, you, Emery, on HQ there up in CT as the Niners get ready, of course, on Monday Night Football. But we do get Browns-Niners on CBS next week. In between all of that,